Hi, this is Trent Clark, CEO of Leadershipity, serial entrepreneur, international speaker, and longtime coach in Major League Baseball, coaching in 3 World Series. And welcome to the Winners Find a Way show. I am thrilled always to host our show, and thank you for joining us. And what I love about the Winners Find a Way, from the quote from the 4 Disciplines of Execution book, is winners, when shown data that they are losing, find a way to win. The challenge of being resourceful, overcoming that, is absolutely huge. One of the huge itty words today, and we're going to talk about the best in the world today. This is going to be a best in the world series. And one of those itties is adaptability. It is so much in need today with employees that it's bonkers. People are asking me like, oh, I want to hire these people. I think they have good values. I think they have integrity. But if they don't have adaptability, I'm going to host, because things are going to change in the environment and our ability to change. Now, one of the things that's really key in adaptability that the best in the world know is lifelong learning. We have to understand that we have to keep moving to get better. Things are going to be required more of us, more responsibility comes with these greater chances and opportunities at that highest level. Values of leadership, where you go up in that leadership change, greater responsibility. That means more learning. And so adaptability is that key itty of the word today. We have to have adaptability. So many leaders I see today are like, hey, let me get my team to be able to adjust. And one of the disservices I see of leaders is that they have not prepared their team in things that they need to adapt to. That's so critical for me. So we've got to get that right, because as leaders, we have to anticipate what I'm going to need my team to adapt and pivot to. So they are going to need to upskill. They are going to need to learn. So all of a sudden, here's another big itty word: coachability, right? So I see these folks who are coaches, and then they don't have coachability themselves. I'm going to have to adjust to get better, to have better value for my team, for my organization. So how do I do that really well? That's not going to be easy all the time. So, all right, how do I do it? How do I make sure that my team continues to upskill and improve? Lifelong learning. We got to get better. We got to continue to improve. This week, I was in Los Angeles with a number of clients and number of engagements I was involved in there. And one of the things I did was called a meeting of the minds. We had a happy hour event where I invited a number of world beaters that I know out on the Los Angeles side to come together and network with one another. But what ultimately happens in these environments is a bunch of just champions show up in their respective fields, and they get to know other people that are winners, that have found a way to win. And they've created value and impact in this world, in their field of expertise. And they're all very different, yet they're all coming together humbly because they want to continue to learn. They understand and honor and respect other people's learnings, and like, hey, I'd love to take a couple pieces of nuggets away from that. And there were multiple authors of books, even though they aren't writers. They've written books on their expertise that were present in the event. There were musicians and fabulous leaders in the area of film and TV and music, lawyers. It was incredible, the mix of different people and backgrounds, and tons of education, doctorates all over the place. So it was an absolutely fabulous event that just a number of people, about 15, came together to network and spend some time together. And the 15 that came are interested in lifelong learning, and they're part of the best in the world. They are 1%ers in their field of study and continuing to improve because they are willing to lean into learning from other people. And that learning gives them skill to be able to adapt when necessary. It ranges their adaptability from here to here, because they know people who have had to go through this and they learn from them, even though they may not even have to had done it themselves, but they're learning some skill sets. So if the best in the world do this, how do I do this? So let me leave you with a little bit of a, hey, how do you move forward? How do I get better? So the 1% in the world, the best in the world, are lifelong learners. How do I become a lifelong learner? First of all, give yourself time for learning. I see so many people who are like, hey, I went to school 20 years ago. I'm not going to school anymore. I'm done with that. Like, really? Like, come on. Like, you are going to have to continue to learn, and we have to upskill. Can you imagine people in technology coming out with a degree 20 years ago and saying, hey, this is still relevant today? That environment has changed so fast. One of the absolute strengths of tech leaders and champions is their ability to upskill and learn, and they do it fast and they adjust very quickly with the time of what's happening. Adaptability has to be very high. And so what can I first set time and be intentional about learning? How do I do that? Start a book list of things that you want to do. Like, hey, I've identified these 10 books that probably I'm going to have to see that people have recommended to me. They are good books. They have high value. They are bestsellers. They are industry expertise and knowledge. And I always hear like, oh, that's the Bible in realtor in the real estate world. That's the Bible for technology and IT training. Like, great. Like, if that is the authority in that category and you are in that category, how come you haven't read that book yet? Like, be a learner, lean into it, get a couple nuggets each and every time. 2, get a mentor. Get a mentor, someone who's done something that you want to do, someone who's usually 15 to 20 years ahead of you is an ideal range of where I want people. They're still relevant. They've been involved in the last years. They've had to change through it. So they see the things that you're adapting and changing to, but they are your senior experience of anywhere from that 10 to 20-year range, kind of averaging out in that 15 is ideal. They've come before you and done it. And have a monthly meeting. Sit down, buy them breakfast every month. Hey, I'd love to sit down every month and talk some shop about the business. Come with intent. Talk about your goals, what you're trying to do, what they did, how you would do it better. Build a structure around those meetings. Lifelong learning. 3, go back to school. Go back, get more degree. You can go to executive training. You can go to vocational training, all sorts of lifelong learning going on there in any kind of work at any kind of price. Online learning now is taking a whole new element, right? How do I pay for a class? I can go online and pay for a class, sometimes $200, and I can get a whole semester worth of information on very specific expertise. So continuing to learn. We learn from our organizations and our teams. We get involved with better coaches, better leaders who help us get better. We hire a private coach. I own a coaching company, right? Leadershipity, we do a ton of executive education and coaching top level athletes, coaches of athletes, former and entrepreneurs that have sold, coaching them in transitioning from that life to another life. Like, there's all sorts of coaching that's going on, and we have expertise in that. The best in the world have a coach. Why wouldn't you? Like, get yourself a coach and start learning. Now we're talking about not just lifelong learning, but now you're hyper learning. You're developing somebody who's going to get you there very quick because they're going to take their expertise and bring you along faster, right? So you have lifelong learning there. So audio tapes, right? Audiobooks, great. Everything's available now on phone. Very important. Podcasting. There's experts out there who are delivering information. Subscribe to areas that you want to learn more on that have interesting guests and provide information like Winners Find a Way do. We provide that for a lot of entrepreneurs, for business owners, for athletes. We want to say, hey, you're in this competitive world. Winners find a way. We provide information. So go to a podcast, and there's tons of them out there, right? So those are just a few examples of your level of lifelong learning. And I'm sure there are numerous. Please weigh in on the comments, jump in. We'd love to see it. But thank you for being with me today on The Best in the World, our lifelong learners. And so love to see you continue your journey as a lifelong learner. We're always here for you at the Leadershipity YouTube channel. We provide lots of content, information. Check out our website. We have assessment. I'd love if you want to ping me and get the assessment of the pyramid of Leadershipity and how you show up as a leader. Please do that at trent@leadershipity.com. Always thank you for joining us. Winners Find a Way every week, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Fridays. And we will see you next week, as we'll be talking a ton about my trip out the last couple of weeks into Los Angeles and into Texas and into a couple of world beaters. And you'll see a couple of podcasts that will be released that I did amongst those trips. So can't wait to see more of you. And as always, be awesome.